Hi and welcome to another tutorial on coding in C Sharp. In the previous two tutorials, we've looked at a couple of different types of loops. We looked at the while loop, which was used to basically repeat code while a condition was evaluating to true. And we also looked at the for loop, which was like a counted loop, which could repeat code a certain number of times that we specify. It can also be used to go through things like go through each elements in a list or an array, or go through each individual character in a string. Okay, so those are the two types of loops we've looked at so far. There are a couple of other types of loops. There's the do while loop, and there's also the for each loop. Okay, we'll look at the for each loop a little bit later after we've covered arrays, but what we'll do in this tutorial is have a look at the do while loop and how it differs from the regular while loop. Okay, so with a while loop, which we looked at before, a while loop basically checks a condition first. While that condition is true, it will repeat code inside the loop, and it will go back up again and check the condition, and if the condition still evaluates to true, it will repeat the code again. So it always checks the condition before it runs the code inside the loop. However, the do while loop kind of does things in the opposite order. It will run the code inside the loop first, and then it will check the condition after it's run the code inside the loop, which means that basically it will always run the code inside the loop even if the condition evaluates to false. Okay, so let's have a look at that in action. What we'll do is, for this example, we'll create an integer variable called counter, and we'll set that to 0. So we've got a counter that's set to 0, and we'll have a do while loop go through, display the value of that counter, and then increase the counter by 1, and keep doing that while the counter is less than 10. Okay, so we'll say, and to create a do while loop, the first thing we do is write do, and then in curly brackets, we specify what we want to do in this loop. So what we can do is say, we can say console.write line counter is, so we can say counter is, and then display the value of the counter. Okay, whoops. And then what we can do is, what's going on here? We haven't specified the while yet, so we won't worry about that bit yet. We haven't finished the while part of the loop. Then what we'll do is increase the counter by 1 each time this loop runs. Okay, so we've got the first part of the do while loop. We've specified the do bit. Okay, so this is what's going to happen when the loop is running. We'll display the value of the counter and increase it by 1. Then what we need to do is add the while. Okay, so inside the while, we've got while inside the brackets there, we're going to specify the condition. So while counter is less than 10. Okay, so it's very similar to a while loop, but we've got the do bit here and the while bit here, and the while bit comes last. Okay, so what we're actually doing is we're saying do this. Okay, so display the value of counter, increase counter by 1, do this, and then go and check if the counter is less than 10. And if it is, then go and do this again and keep doing it while counter is less than 10. Okay, so let's go and run that. Okay, there we go. So counter is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so far, I mean, we looked at how to create a while loop before, and we did the same thing, and we've got the same output here. But what happens if we change this counter variable to be something that is not less than 10? So maybe we make it 99. Okay, 99 is not less than 10. Okay, so let's go and run this loop and see what happens. We see this, counter is less than 99. Okay, so what's actually happened here is we've set the counter to 99, And then we said do this. So we go and display the value of the counter, and then we increase it by 1. So the counter is now 100. And then we check if the counter is less than 10. Well, 100 is not less than 10. So we're not going to go and do this again. We're not going to go and repeat that code. So what actually happens here is with the do while loop, the code inside the loop or inside the do section will always run at least once. So even if the condition is false, it will still run the first time. So it always runs the code the first time before checking the condition. If the condition evaluates to true, then it will go and repeat that code again and keep repeating it while the condition is evaluated to true. But it always runs at least once, even if the condition evaluates to false. So it's a do while loop in C#. Thanks for watching.